It was past midnight in a quiet Canadian town, and the streets were empty except for the faint glow of streetlights bouncing off patches of melting snow. Inside a small apartment, a young mother named Emily held her baby girl, Lily, close to her chest. The child was burning with fever, her tiny body trembling in her mother's arms. Emily's hands shook as she checked the thermometer again. It flashed a number that sent fear racing through her heart. Her baby needed medicine immediately. Throwing on her coat, Emily wrapped Lily in a blanket and hurried through the cold night. She knew there was a 24-hour pharmacy just a few blocks away. Every second felt like a lifetime as Lily whimpered against her shoulder. Emily whispered prayers under her breath fogging in the icy air. When she finally reached the pharmacy, relief washed over her. She pushed open the glass door, clutching Lily tightly. The bright lights and smell of disinfectant filled her senses as she hurried to the counter. "Please," she begged the pharmacist, her voice trembling. "My baby has a high fever. I need medicine, anything to bring it down." But the man behind the counter barely looked up. He asked for a prescription. Emily explained that she didn't have one, that she couldn't reach a doctor at this hour, that she just needed something to help until morning. Still, his answer was cold. "I'm sorry, rules are rules. I can't give you anything without a prescription." Her heart sank. She pleaded again, her voice breaking, but the refusal was firm. The lights in the pharmacy suddenly felt harsh, the walls closing in around her. She looked down at her baby's flushed face, tears stinging her own eyes. She felt powerless, invisible, like the world had no room for her desperation. Just then, another customer stepped forward. He had been quietly watching from the corner. A tall man in a worn jacket, holding a small bag of medicine for himself. His name was Daniel, a single dad who had been raising his 10-year-old son alone since his wife passed away. He knew what fear felt like, the kind that claws at your chest when your child is in danger. "Excuse me," Daniel said firmly, stepping between Emily and the pharmacist. "She needs help. You can't just turn her away." The pharmacist shook his head again, pointing to the rules, but Daniel didn't back down. "I've stood in her shoes before. My son once had a fever like that, and I know what it means. If you won't help her, then I will." He turned to Emily, his voice softening. "Don't worry. I'll make sure she gets what she needs." Daniel pulled out his wallet and placed it on the counter, asking for over-the-counter fever medicine that was safe for children, insisting on anything that could bring temporary relief. He signed the forms, took responsibility, and within minutes handed Emily the small box of medicine as if it were treasure. Emily's tears finally fell, but this time they were of gratitude. She clutched Daniel's hand, whispering, Thank you for seeing us when no one else would." Outside the pharmacy, Daniel helped her measure out the dose. He stayed with her on the sidewalk in the cold night until Lily's breathing steadied, until her tiny body began to cool against her mother's chest. For the first time in hours, Emily exhaled a shaky sigh of relief. The two strangers sat there for a while, connected by the quiet streets and the fragile heartbeat of humanity. Daniel spoke gently about his late wife, about the nights he stayed up with his son, about how no parent should ever face fear alone. Emily listened, her heart heavy yet lifted by the kindness of a man who owed her nothing yet gave her everything in that moment. By the time the night gave way to the faint glow of dawn, Emily realized something profound. It wasn't just about medicine. It was about compassion, about how one person's courage to step forward could change the entire course of someone else's night. When she finally walked home, her baby resting peacefully in her arms, Emily looked back at Daniel. He gave her a small nod, the kind only parents who have fought through storms understand. And in that frozen Canadian night, a single dad's kindness reminded everyone watching that humanity is not bound by rules or walls. It lives in the choices we make when someone else is in need. Do you want me to make this story a bit longer with more tension in the pharmacy scene so it fills the 4-minute storytelling pace more naturally?